Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the live Flat Earth debates. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs along the show while it's premiering, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion you're watching right now, you can click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now we are joined by Chocolate Saiyan, Mike, Physics Warrior, Sleeping Warrior, The Plain Truth, Unorthodox, and Zinda. Good to have you all.
Woo!
Hello.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon from the banana earth.
So Anthony, to answer your question a little more precisely, in terms of the shape of the Earth, right? My opinion on it is, I even consider that the Earth, that we might be living in a small room that is the Earth, and the more you move towards the wall, the more the dimension gets distorted and shifted, and making the illusion of us living on a Earth in terms of like the Earth we live on. So
are you basically saying you're not convinced it's a sphere?
Well, not 100%, and the reason why I got this idea was from the flat Earth debate withdrawal. I and some friends, we moved to, like, we went on a weekend in a small house, and then I considered, all right, if I don't have the flat Earth drug anymore, I have to take some LSD with them. So we took it, and then I saw like the shifting dimensions and everything. So I thought, like, yeah, maybe our mind just plays a trick with us, right? And we actually are living in let's say 40 square meter room. So yeah, it is interesting imagining some possibilities.
Fair enough.
Might not be as
fair. I just got on a flight. I flew from New York, Georgia to. No, I'm sorry, Boston to Phoenix yesterday. For the first time in a while, and for the first time since I've been like a full-on flat earther. And I mean, it's definitely a different experience. And when you're up there, you just know. You just look out. You're just like, nah, there's no way this is a spinning ball. It's just not possible.
You didn't notice how the horizon was shifted down a few degrees?
Nope.
Saying?
Nope. I noticed how I saw it at 35,000 feet.
Is there a possible explanation for why it shifted down there, Unorthodox?
Well, I don't know. I just know that's a common flat Earth argument that's just completely untrue. I know a lot of flat Earthers say that the horizon always shifts to eye level, but that's not true. So I don't know if there's really
when I looked out the plane window, the horizon was there. So I don't know.
Down lower, it's not at the same level.
Okay, that's not what
the same level as when I'm on the ground.
Right.
Yes, your eye level, you have to look down a certain amount of degrees to look at the horizon. If you're on a plane, you have to look down a few more degrees to see the horizon.
I looked straight out.
Yeah.
And
okay,
all I
wait,
saw was horizon.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Unorthodox, what is your measurement of a degree? How much?
1/360th of a full circle.
1/360th. Right. That still doesn't give me a precise measurement, because if we're on the alleged surface of the Earth that is a globe, that's 69 miles. So are you telling me that when I look out the window, I have to adjust my eyesight 69 miles? Because when I look out, when I flew out to California just this last week, and I looked out the window, I just looked straight ahead and saw the horizon. So what is it exactly you're saying? I mean, be precise, because you're just using terms that have no meaning unless you define them. So,
well,
Travis,
so
isn't
if
it-
you basically put a glass plate in front of your vision and you drew a line, you could do it, and it's pretty obvious. I've been up in planes before. The horizon is obviously lower. It's obviously lower.
Yeah, and I asked you a question.
Should it be like
What's your
4,000 feet or
explanation?
something?
I asked you a question. What is your explanation for why it's lower?
Because the Earth's a globe and it's not flat.
Okay,
I love it.
all right. Let me ask you a question.
So it's based on the
Hold on,
presupposition
hold
that the
on, let
Earth's a
me follow
sphere.
up
So
with
like
another
every example ever, you've got to insist that we presuppose the Earth's a sphere to extrapolate out that dip that you see at high altitude as being Earth curve.
Yes, how am I supposed to talk about the Earth being a sphere if the Earth isn't a sphere? If we don't say the Earth is a sphere,
You can't.
Because we're looking for evidence that it is a sphere. We're not just
Why did
presupposing
my
that it is a
Q&A
sphere.
get sidetracked? My
Go ahead,
Q&A
go
got totally sidetracked, people. Come on now. Okay, so my question to you, Unorthodox, is what other variables that could possibly explain the degree that might have changed in the horizon level? What other variables did you eliminate to come up with the fact that it was exclusively Earth curve?
I haven't done a complex analysis of it.
Okay, so
I'm just saying.
So no. So basically, it could be possible that there is another explanation.
There's always possibilities, right?
So it's possible that it could not be Earth curve.
For that one example, yes, but then you've got 30 other things that also tell you that
Go
the
ahead.
Earth is
Tell
curved.
me those 30. Tell me those 30 other things when we're flying up in the air, because that's what we're observing. We're observing the horizon at our eye level at 35,000 feet. So what are the 30 other things that we have to consider?
Well, I'm talking about, like the pole stars, obstruction.
So you're red herrings and non sequiturs then, because those have nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Can we stick to the topic?
Well, I'm just saying it adds to the conclusion. If you have other evidence to back up that conclusion, it makes it stronger.
Didn't Jay Tolan put a video up on his channel doing a horizon test on both sides of the plane, coming up with exactly 0.0 degrees of dip?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that being discussed elsewhere, although I've not seen it, Mike.
I think it's on his channel.
I've been up in a plane. It's obviously lower.
Well, you can't distinguish an horizon with your naked eyes at that altitude. It's impossible.
It's obviously lower. Like if you take a photograph and you're on ground level, the horizon will take up about 50% of the photo and the ground will take up about 50%. If you're in a plane and you take a photo, the horizon will take up more than 50% of the photo.
Sure, that's lovely.
That's only
but then,
got it leveled, probably.
But then when we ask you, what does that mean? And then you tell us that you presuppose the Earth's a sphere and that's causing that effect. That doesn't prove a thing. Do you not get that?
If it was flat, it would rise to eye level, Nathan.
So now you're strawmanning us.
I don't think that's a straw man.
Well,
I mean, that's pretty much.
If it's not a straw man, what claim have I made? What claim did I make about the horizon? Unorthodox, lay it out for me if this isn't a straw man.
You haven't made a claim. I made.
Oh, right, so it is a straw man then. So it's got sod all to do with Travis's point. You're now making up a new point to attack, which is called a straw man. So let's just stick to your claim. Let's just stick to your claim that you. Shut up. Let's stick to your claim that you've made about the horizon and what it proves. We've already established, masterfully.
I didn't say it proves anything.
Shut
I said
up!
Evidence for it.
Shut your stupid mouth. I'm the one talking. So we've already had it explained by Travis. Without the presupposition that the Earth's a sphere, you have nothing here to demonstrate. So like with Zinda on the last show, we're just going to go around 20 minutes of you going through the same thing over and over?
No, I was going to move on to y'all's direct contradiction that you talked about just a minute ago. That's what I was going to... I mean, I made my point. I'd like to move on.
No, you didn't.
Talk about it for 30 minutes.
No, you didn't. You made a presupposition that we were on a sphere, and then told us about your deduction based on your presupposition after looking at something out of a plane window. You made no connection to the two. You just gave us a religious belief.
How is that a presupposition, Nathan? It's an observation.
No, you made an observation of the horizon, not of Earth being a sphere. That is your presupposition, my son.
That's a deduction, Nathan. You see something and you deduce
we've already
something
established
from
it's
what you
not a
see.
deduction.
It's not a presupposition.
No,
Comes out of
it's
nowhere.
not a deduction. You don't have logic on your side here, I'm afraid, unorthodox. You start with your conclusion. You've already admitted that.
I mean,
We're talking about an observation, Nathan.
Yeah, and what does it prove?
I took a few pictures. I could try to post it in the Skype chat. I don't have a P900 or anything, but I have a cell phone. I took.
You're very quiet. I've turned you right up as well, Chocolate, so I can't get you any higher.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I took a few cell phone pictures from the aircraft while it was I took a few from like about 10,000 feet and a few from 30, 34, 35. So I mean, I don't know, unorthodox. You can look at it and see what you think. If it's lower the way you think it should be on a ball.
Yeah, if you have your camera level and you take a picture and you're in a plane, the top half of the horizon, the sky to the ground, will take up more than 50% of the photograph. If you're on the ground and you have your camera level and you point it at the horizon, it'll take up about 50-50.
So
you can't even tell where the horizon is. It's often blurred.
You know, I was really want to talk about y'all's direct contradiction in logic, and you can just tell me if I'm wrong here. But you say that you have to have a container to have air pressure, but you say that in
why
order.
are we taking the focus off of your inability to be logical here?
I'm done with the point, dude. It's over. I don't have any other points to make regarding that. Let's talk about something else.
You know, you didn't really make any.
Yeah, we don't have anything else to discuss with you because it's just going to be another, well, what about this? Well, what about this? When we can't even deal with the first point in the fact that, again, you and I are having conversation over a beer, okay? And you say that looking out the window at 35,000 feet, the horizon drops a certain amount of degrees. And my question to you is, how does that prove the curvature of the Earth?
It doesn't. It proves that it's not flat.
How does it prove that it's not flat?
You want me to go? You want me to model it and show it to you? I have to model it in 3D software. If you raise
3D software, bro. I was on the plane yesterday, and the last thing it did was prove curvature.
Hey, Arwin.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Do you have an explanation for why it doesn't rise?
Hold on. So again, you're strawmanning us. Who's making this claim?
You're turning it back on us.
You are the one who brought
We're discussing
up
the
the
point, guys.
Let's just get clear what's happening.
We're not just on the main highway here. There's avenues and off-roads to this conversation. So don't act like I'm doing something absurd by taking questions that are directly correlated to the topic at hand and discussing them. That's not abnormal whatsoever. Don't sit here and act to me like it is.
You have made a claim, unorthodox.
From the current subject. It's also known as a red herring.
Yeah, you made the claim.
You don't remember how this went down? I said I was in an aircraft and I looked out and it completely proved to me that it was flat. What was your first thing you said? First thing you said was, "Oh, did the horizon dip down?" And I said, "Not to me." And you said, "Oh, because this is one of those flat earther arguments." No, at no time did I bring that up. That's your argument.
Right, you made the claim.
You
hey,
said
John.
the same thing that's common among flat earthers.
Oh, God, so he is. Just, anyway. John, how you doing?
That the horizon actually rises to eye level, and it doesn't. That's a
He's
lie.
not going to shut up long enough to get a hello out of John. Hey, John.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Very well.
Hear me okay? I'm coming in too hot?
No, you're all good.
I missed the discussion. I want to bring up the natural world, but go ahead. Finish what you got and then come back to me.
He's got nothing. He's made a claim, and then basically when it comes to us pointing out that he makes no connection between Earth curve and his observation from a plane, which is being simultaneously disagreed with by about 3 panel members. So he hasn't actually got a point.
It matches up perfectly with what you would expect on a sphere, Nathan.
Yeah, we understand that you have to presuppose a sphere. We got there ages ago. Just surface
How
doesn't help.
would you do that without presupposing a sphere or deducting a sphere, Nathan?
You don't.
Can you
dumb
possibly?
idiot.
How could
you
we
don't.
possibly have this
Yeah, I'll answer you,
conversation?
dumbass. I'll answer you, dumbass, if you'll shut up long enough. You're gonna get kicked out.
Conversation.
You want to get kicked out? You just rumpusing. Yeah, you don't. You must presuppose we're on a sphere, you religious idiot. That's the point.
No, I can logically deduce it.
You've just said, how do I do it without presupposing it? Now you're changing it to your logical deduction.
From your perspective, Nathan.
You've been asked by Travis to give us that logical deduction.
It's a logical deduction based on a presupposition.
Precisely.
Okay, that's a little bit better. But it doesn't, like, if like I told you before, if I presuppose you're a wanker, Nathan, and you turn out to be a wanker, it's true.
Real quick, unorthodox, real quick. Arwen, if I send you a couple of pictures, can you present them?
Sure. Do it over Skype.
Yeah, that's a loose attempt. A loose attempt at claiming the fallacy isn't going to work here. So, no. In some instances, claiming something using a fallacious argument doesn't necessarily rule out the possibility of the thing being claimed actually being true. So yes, while you can assert that you can claim as a presupposition that I'm a wanker, only to discover that I'm a wanker, doesn't mean that your fallacious argument in the first instance was wrong, i.e. the fallacy. That's not true here. Your fallacious argument doesn't have any proof to go with it.
I would argue that.
What, that it does because you presuppose it? Yeah, we know. We know you must presuppose it. And you saying, well, if I can't presuppose it, how the hell am I supposed to prove it? Well, you can't. That's the point. You can't prove we're on a bloody model. We're not. Hey, Haunted House.
I just proved to you that that's an invalid argument, Nathan. If I say you're a wanker, if I presuppose you're a wanker,
shut up.
And you turn out to be a wanker,
yeah.
it doesn't take away from the fact that you're a
very
wanker.
fun. Get away with using an example that calls the host a wanker. Fun.
Do you
Anyway.
use the scientific method?
Hey, Haunted.
Do you use the scientific method?
We've done that before on the show, and they didn't.
Question: Do you use the scientific method?
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay. The scientific method rejects a hypothesis, which means if you do use the scientific method, you should be rejecting the globe, not confirming anything. You're not supposed to confirm what you've heard, what you've been told. Okay, that's analysis.
I've done a lot of this stuff myself, personally.
That's incorrect.
You've been primed to believe something that isn't self-evident. It's okay, man. You think you're going to come to the realization one day, though? Or are you rigid and you won't allow new information?
I would bet you both my testicles that you guys are wrong.
Why would you live that? Why would you choose to? Why would see? This is the, I'm exposing the fact that this is your choice, man.
Presupposing is not proven, no matter how much you want it to be.
Don't talk over me, Aaron.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not proven. I'm just saying that's not a good argument. That the presupposition completely throws out everything that you've proven. You can presuppose something and it's still true. It doesn't mean it's not true.
Sorry, it wouldn't be necessary to presuppose it.
Verify the sphere.
He doesn't seem to get it. If you need to presuppose
if you want me to
something,
show you how to verify the sphere, I can. I made a video on that exact topic.
Sorry, you're talking nonsense and orthodox. If you need to presuppose it and it's real, why do you need to presuppose it exactly?
I would call it a logical deduction. You call it a presupposition, Nathan.
You didn't. Did you not hear my question? If it's just fact and real, why on earth would you need a presupposition?
I don't need a presupposition. I need a logical
deduction.
Yeah,
you do, you stupid dumbass. In order to be on a sphere, you must presume you're on a sphere.
Yeah.
No, logical deduction.
Oh,
Nathan,
so we go
really?
in circles.
This is logical deduction then. Post a syllogism.
I just want to ask the guy,
Hold a second.
If it's not self-evident, then it's really not relevant. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Can you hear me?
What's not relevant?
If it's not self-evident, it's not relevant. Look, what is there to tell me out there to tell me that we live on a sphere?
Well, I live about 20 miles north of Nashville. I can't see the high-rise towers in Nashville ever.
Okay. So what tells me we live on a sphere?
That's pretty obvious.
Simple question. What shows me we live on a sphere? I live on a sphere.
20 miles is not that far for high-rise buildings. You either got crap eyes, crap cameras, or you just deliberately turn in a blind eye.
Seriously.
Nathan, I'm presenting chocolate.
Well, hold on just real quick.
Okay.
I'm looking at I'm looking at islands 20 miles away right now, unorthodox, and I can see him plain as day. So 20 miles is not that significant.
Typically, that's always over water, though, where you can see things further than they're supposed to be, right? Because of refraction, the difference in temperature.
Yeah.
I have some pretty solid evidence for the globe if y'all would ever let me present it.
You're talking to the wrong people.
Bit
Hey,
of a
was that-
monologue
Was
in a
that
minute,
Quantum
though.
Eraser before?
What about
Yeah,
laser?
that I was trying to talk and you were talking over me. Yeah.
Hey, man, how you doing? Good to hear you.
I'd like to hear
Good.
Quantum's answer.
I'm going to take off, guys. See you later.
Take care, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Well, he said that he had it was logical, right? So post a syllogism.
Right.
Go ahead, share your screen, Nathan. Have him post a syllogism.
I don't
for you.
even know
bet
what a
he doesn't
syllogism
even know
is.
what a syllogism
That means
is. I'll bet you.
without even
You know what a syllogism is?
He's already said he doesn't.
No, I don't know what a syllogism is.
I
Do
figured
I
you
need
have
to? Does a human need a syllogism to make logical deductions?
Yeah. Yes, that's what a syllogism is.
Oh my God.
I love you. Unorthodox. Sometimes
Okay,
you're
well
my
then that would
favorite
be.
guest.
If I knew what it was, it'd be pretty damn easy to do that. Then, don't you think?
Unorthodox. Can I ask you?
Maybe you should do it the other way around. If you don't know what it is,
Could you
don't
look
try.
at Arwen's picture
Now,
and tell me?
Was that a
how far the
rhetorical
horizon-
question?
I don't need to know the definition of something because I don't know the exact definition of what you're talking about. That doesn't mean that the logic is flawed. That means I'm not familiar with the terminology that you're using. Correct?
Sure.
No. Ignorance is fine. That's fine. That's a perfect excuse. He's essentially admitting to being ignorant. In that case, because of his gracious concession, John, can you just explain to him what a syllogism is, please?
Nope, I'm not doing it. He has to
Great.
go find it. He
Is that easy
claimed
to-
it.
is that easy
I
to
didn't
figure out?
claim it. He claimed it. So he has to go find it and then put his logical argument into a syllogism for us. I'm not doing it for
Why would
him.
I do that? I already jumped through all you guys' hoops with the scientific method. I did exactly what you wanted with the scientific method and gravity.
Oh,
exactly
you
to
did?
a T, what
When
you guys
did you do
wanted,
that?
and you still rejected
Really?
that. So why would I go
Let's
put
do it
effort
again.
into making a
Let's
syllogism
do it again.
just to come here and for
Hey,
you to
Nathan.
tell me that's wrong?
Hey, Nathan, can you
couldn't
stop
even
his
vary the
diarrhea of the mouth?
Because you
And
proved that
we got the
mass.
Oh my God!
Hold on,
Arwen,
hold on,
Hold
Arwen.
on a second.
So he's just made a claim, and he's done it 3 times before, but I'm happy to do it again.
Are we sharing screens?
Not yet. Just give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
Work.
I say let's talk about something new.
Oh,
we've
no.
done this. We've done this before.
Terrible.
If you want to
Yeah,
do it again, you're just
yeah,
gonna
we
say the
have.
same old thing.
All right, so real quick,
We've done this
unorthodox.
before.
No
Real
chocolate. No.
Okay, you want to go through it again?
on.
Skype
that
window's
again.
I'm
terrible.
fine with that. I just think it's kind of silly.
I don't know why it's
You have a
giving me this crappy window as the only window to
I'm hearing
choice
echo.
for Skype. It won't let me share it properly, so I'm going to have to put you on a different way, which I'll do now. Okay, so that's slightly clearer. So you're on screen for the audience. John.
What's your scientific evidence? Natural phenomena observed, please.
Rock falling off a cliff. Or a leaf falling from a tree.
No, one at a time. When you say it, I'm typing it. No changing it. So which
Okay,
is it?
leaf from a tree. Since they do the rules, leaf falling from a tree.
At least he's got an actual viable observed phenomena.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, that was really hard, guys.
Should we give
All
him
right,
a round
so
of
leaf
applause?
falling from a tree. Since that's your naturally observed phenomena, guess what your dependent variable is? Leaf falling from a tree.
No, you don't get to tell me what my independent variable is.
Are you having a
It's gonna be-
laugh?
It's gonna be judo.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. You've just given him your phenomena, and you're telling him that he's not allowed to use that as the dependent variable?
Yeah, we're not going to use leaf as independent variable.
No, dependent variable.
My word.
Either one of those.
So you're saying the observed phenomena cannot form part of the hypothesis. You are quite literally the dumbest person on this panel right now.
I know.
I'm
so
sorry.
dumb.
I don't mean to laugh.
So dumb of
Let me
me
just break
not
it
to
down.
use a
No,
leaf.
no, no.
This is
It's fine.
ridiculous.
If an orthodox doesn't get it, I want to break it down for those in the audience who don't get it. Your observed phenomena is, another way to put it, an effect. And you are trying to establish the cause of that effect. Now, in a hypothesis, the effect is the dependent variable.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'm sorry.
Glad we got that clear. So, just to reiterate for you, because you said leaf falling from a tree is your dependent variable now.
No.
Oh my god.
I couldn't make it up. This is brilliant.
I don't know what to say.
Let's play your little game here. Let's just say
It's not a game. This is
I
the
have to do
scientific
it
method.
specifically this certain way. Okay, we'll just say
The scientific
things.
method way.
The scientific method way.
Yes.
That's
you
what
guys
this
are
is.
really involved in science. Which one of you guys is involved in science?
That's what this is.
You right now, at the moment, you are attempting to be involved in science by formulating a hypothesis. So, to answer your question, you.
Mad scientist.
No, I mean, like, where are you getting your understanding from science?
No, you are the one providing
No, you.
your understanding of your science.
The mad scientist.
Do you know what the scientific method even is, son?
We've already done this before, Quantum Eraser. We went through the whole thing, and your only argument was
and we
that
laughed
height,
at you at the
height
end.
couldn't
'cause you
be
couldn't form a
my dependent
hypothesis.
variable, right?
Well,
So,
yeah.
are you changing your argument now?
So, yeah.
Because
no,
before it was something else. Now it's something completely different. So, are you changing your argument from before? Are you changing your position?
What the
height
bloody hell
wouldn't be
is he
your
babbling
independent
about?
variable.
Does anybody understand his argument? We're just
have
getting
no
your.
idea.
All we're doing is getting your hypothesis from you. That's it. You said you'd given it us 3 times before. And what's the problem? Like an assertion that you'd actually achieved something in doing so the last 3 times when we took it to pieces. Now you're just reiterating the 3 points that you think you won last time when we took them to pieces. But we're so far.
I'm just asking if you're changing your position.
The screen that the audience can see has got the same exact formulation of the scientific method and its requirements as we've put on for the last 2 times or 3 times that you've done this.
Every time John hasn't even come close to writing it down properly. Why don't you let me write it down properly and you show my screen?
He's typing out verbatim the words that come out of your mouth
No, he's
for
not.
your
No,
science.
he's not. That's not what happened anytime we've done this. I've looked at the videos. That's completely false.
Okay, so far we've had leaf falling from a tree, and then when he literally copied and pasted those words that you gave for your phenomena, also known as the effect, you told us not to do that. That's because you are a retard.
So are you changing your position?
No!
No?
No!
Like I said, we've already done this before. I really don't see the point. I had something about distances.
Oh,
that
okay.
pretty much
My bad.
crushes-
Sorry, I'll just declare it for the
crushes
audience
flat
on your
Earth.
behalf. Let's shut him up. He's already won. We don't need to do this, John. He's already done it and already won.
What to say?
You've already won,
What
right?
new do you have to say?
You've already won, right? We've already done this. You've already won. You don't
We
need
have.
to do it
You
again.
guys had absolute crap arguments against it. You said
This is
that
your
height
argument.
could not be the variable.
This is
that
your
manipulated.
argument. We're just writing down what you say. And before you've even said it, you're telling us that you've won.
Like I said, show my screen and I'll write it down. Last time John didn't write down my words properly. The last 2 or 3 times he did.
You've only given 5
So based
words.
on what he's done in the past, I don't believe that
No
he's going to
problem.
write
I'll
down
play
properly.
moderator if you think John can't write down correctly. No problem. The first 5 words, are these or are these not correct? Phenomena. Leaf falling from a tree. Would you say that's wrong or right? You said it.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent. So let's move on. So what's the cause of that effect? Otherwise known as the independent variable. The cause.
The distance between it
No,
and the
distance
ground.
is a concept, you utter idiot. It's not causing anything. So no, distance doesn't cause things.
They're connected together, Nathan.
Do I need to say it a second time, you complete buffoon? Distance is a...
Gravity...
Let's shut him up. Distance is a concept. It does not cause things.
Everything's a concept, Nathan.
Oh,
Everything's
really?
a concept.
Excuse me, everything's a concept.
Did you hear what you just said, Unorthodox?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Everything's a concept, huh? So
everything's a word. Everything's a concept. I'm 6 feet tall. That's a concept, right? But it's still a physical, real world thing. Are you arguing that
Yeah,
it's
but
not?
Unorthodox. You're not hearing what you said. He asked you, what's the independent variable? You said the distance.
Yes.
So
gravity.
you're saying the distance, the distance the leaf is from the ground is what caused it to fall?
In distance, you have,
That's
you have to
you can't
vary
what you
set
said,
up.
right?
You have to kind of just because you're thinking of it a certain way doesn't mean that's proper. Okay, to do these sorts of things, you kind of have to think cleverly. You have to use clever thinking. So you have to kind of relate.
That's a quote for the books. If you're going to do these things right, you got to do them cleverly.
You guys aren't,
to be deep,
you guys aren't
to work
capable of
around
doing
the
any clever thinking.
on Orthodox, you're gonna have to vary distance now as your variable independent variable. Is that what you're gonna do? So where's the gravity now? Where's the gravity? So you just lost gravity now. It just went out somewhere, out the door. We're trying to.
Gravity is directly proportional to distance, right? It's inversely squared.
Sorry, we're looking for the cause. Are you having me on?
I would just argue this. Like, you don't need this, guys. Just drop something. Like, just drop it.
Just drop gravity. Just out the door.
It's really that simple.
I'm sorry, I'm missing something.
Drop it, man.
Sorry, yeah, we
There's
are.
nothing to the left of me. There's nothing to the
Unorthodox,
right of me. There's
control
nothing
your
above
verbal
me.
diarrhea, my friend.
The only
I'm trying
place
to
things
clarify that
travel
that's
when
what you've told us
I
to
drop
do.
them.
Can you shut up, please? You've said drop something. Leaf falling from a tree is exactly that. Now we want to know the cause of that.
Need all this. Like, it's that obvious.
What, the
There's
cause?
nothing, I'm out in the field. There's nothing to the left of me. There's nothing to the right of me. There's nothing in front of me. There's nothing behind me.
Here I
There's
am,
nothing
stuck in the
above me.
middle with
The
you.
only thing concrete, large, is beneath me. Where does the leaf fall? Towards everything.
Awesome.
Towards all the mass. It's
Yes,
really
that's
obvious.
fascinating. So now can you give us the cause of that effect, please?
Helium balloon.
What?
The cause!
Density.
The
Density
cause!
is the cause of it.
Are you deaf? The cause of that
Density.
effect, please. You've described an effect. We've got it written down. Leaf falling from a tree. Just drop something. Yeah, you've got that bit. Now we want to know the cause of that.
Density.
Sorry, you're giving me another concept. Are you joking?
Yeah, let's just go with that.
What, another concept that won't ever cause anything ever?
Yeah, density causes things to fall. I
So,
realize that.
as a syllogism,
Never mind.
so let me get it right. As a syllogism, if density, then leaf falling from a tree. That's your hypothesis.
Yes.
If density.
Yes.
Cool.
No, I'm
So
using
if I
yours.
have,
That's you
hold
guys'
on,
thing. That's the flat earth,
hold
that's from
on,
the flat
let's
earth
just
community.
take it through its logical steps. So if I have density, a concept, I will experience leaf falling from a tree. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
No, you complete Dumbo.
That's 100% correct.
So if density, then leaf falling from a tree.
Yes.
Right. So I provide some density. A boat, very dense. You're saying if this dense thing then leaf falls from tree. Are you utterly stupid?
No, that's you guys' thing.
That's what you've just given us as your logical syllogism. You've said if density, then leaf falling from a tree. It's benign, it's
This is your
stupid.
null hypothesis to disprove gravity. We're just going to do it with density. So this is your thing.
Oh my
So why don't you take it from here? Go ahead and take it from here. We'll do density, and then we'll go ahead and we'll disprove gravity, right? Because we can do the null hypothesis. If the hypothesis,
Why are
then we can disprove it.
you using quote unquote our thing? Why don't you use your thing?
Because we've already done this. We've already done this.
That's
so
what
let's
she
do your
said.
thing now. We've done my thing.
So then
Let's do your thing.
So all right. So if we've done it to the point where you don't even want to use your thing anymore, what are we doing here?
And I even had the chance to smell it.
I had the same question too. I had something prepared about distances and how you can't make a flat Earth map.
So why don't you?
Which would utterly crush flat Earth.
So just present
Thanks,
that.
Nathan, for bringing that show back. I needed it.
Yeah, that was good fun.
There you go. There it is.
I mean, I've got a pretty convincing 1-minute video, and you guys can tell me how this works. If this is what I came on to present, I didn't want to get into this other stuff.
So we're gonna. You want us to explain your claim? Are you insane? Do you walk around asking complete strangers to explain things they never made claims for?
All the time.
All the time.
Oh, wow.
I'm a weird dude. What can I say?
Me too.
Yeah, you are.
I do it all the time too.
Well, at least you admit that.
That's cool. That's cool, man.
It's cool, you know what? Well, welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
Yeah. You know guys. You know those people selling those newspaper in front of the supermarket. You know those who just stand there and want to sell it to you. Yeah. Every time I pass by those persons, I'm going to ask completely random questions. Like,
yeah,
you should do that. Get your butt.
Gravity.
I asked her last time I proved gravity to me, and then she looked at me, and I was like,
Jesus,
yeah,
dude.
she hit you with
Too
a purse.
far. Too
Great
far.
minds think alike. What can I say?
Can't walk up to a bum and expect them to explain the theory of gravity.
And then I take the newspaper out of the hand and smash it to the ground and say, prove gravity to me. Then, yeah.
You're a troll, Zinder. You're a troll already, so that's funny.
So are we done with leaf falling from a tree? Can I go ahead and delete this?
Yeah, just be aware that Unorthodox will now claim that he's proved it to us 4 times over.
Okay.
I'm not going to say 4 times.
I'm not
going to say 4
Nathan,
times. It was 2 or 3. I can't remember which one.
Nathan.
Come on, Arthur. Concede.
He doesn't have
I
to
did exactly what you guys wanted. I did it. I took my time. I watched the videos. I did exactly what you guys wanted. I did. You can't tell me that I didn't.
I
did.
You applied critical thinking to
try.
what you watched.
And we got a conclusion, so concede.
He doesn't have to concede.
The argument, when we finished that topic, your argument was that height cannot be my independent variable. I don't think that's a valid claim. If you can prove that that's true or untrue, then maybe we can move the argument forward.
So what you're saying is your independent variable is if height. So you just phrased it wrongly, not distance, but height.
Or is it density?
Your distance away from the Earth's surface is height. That's another name.
Oh, my bad.
For distance.
I'm sorry. Take it all back. So your logical syllogism is if height, then leaf falling from a tree. So if I gain altitude in an aeroplane, then leaf will fall from tree.
Like I said, you got to think cleverly, Nathan. I don't think y'all are really capable of doing
I'm thinking
that.
cleverly. I'm going to jump on a plane, and as a direct consequence, because it's the sole independent variable, it will cause a leaf to fall. I know this because your science tells me so.
Unbelievable.
Well, at least I've got some science.
You haven't. You have none. There is no scientific evidence for a sphere Earth. It's just a religious belief.
Independent variable be maybe the leaf died. Maybe the leaf died, and then it fell off.
No. If death, I'm not having that as an independent variable. I'm not going to be the one to vary and manipulate that.
I'm not sure where you're going with this, but
I want to
is the actual answer for the leaf falling
If
off?
cheeseburgers.
I mean, you're saying distance. The distance doesn't make any sense.
Concept.
Yeah, so let's do it full. I want to know the answer.
Well, my other example was air pressure. When I used distance, I was relating it to air pressure and the gradient. Okay, that was the example that I used.
Bloody hell, how many independent variables have you got?
Original.
How many independent, one singular, sole, variables do you have?
We were talking in the heat of the moment. I should have said air pressure changes as you go up, but I said leaf falling. So I should have said air pressure changes as you go up.
So what you're saying is your original phenomena is now turning into air pressure changes with altitude. That's not a phenomena.
Unorthodox.
Yeah, it is. You have pressure sensors in your ear. You can feel that.
Yeah, but the whole point unorthodox, and we stumbled upon this very early on, is that the gravity hypothesis, as is applied by the scientific community, it's a complex hypothesis. It's it's an aberration of all these different phenomena that point out, oh, that must be a thing. But the problem with the scientific method to actually prove it, you can't use a complex hypothesis. You have to use a basic hypothesis in which the independent variable is the cause of the phenomena.
However,
and there is no such thing for gravity.
Hold on a second. We're talking about Cavendish, right? The scientific community doesn't follow Newtonian Cavendish gravity. How many times did these people have? Brian Cox just said it the other day. Anthony has a video. Right?
It's still the same effect. Quantum eraser. You still have the same outcome.
We're not even in the realm. They're not even parroting the right pseudoscience.
In physical, in engineering, as a mechanical engineer, okay,
engineering not science, son.
Gravity is used in 99.9%.
Oh, 99.999%.
It's used in a large percentage.
Sure it is. I'm a Saudi prince and a Mama fighter pilot.
Hold on. This is his point. He's correct. Gravity is used in architecture, in calculating things. It's a valuable tool, but it's not actually anything else than a tool. It's a concept, and it works out with when you want to do stuff with it. But
it's a mathematical formula that's applied when extrapolating out relative density in air when comparing it to masses. But that's using the logic of relative density and hijacking it with a mathematical formula and then attributing this label of gravity to it. I mean, to assert, just to wrap this up, because you've got unorthodox saying that they're the same thing, they reach the same outcome, and one is pseudo-Riemannian 4-space, one is Euclidean 3-space. They are totally different mathematical constructs. They are in no way associated. One is objects of mass attract one another. The other is the bending of space-time. These two things are completely and utterly mutually exclusive. They're not related.
Right. You
got it. They're interchangeable at low speeds.
No, they're not interchangeable. This is preposterous absurdity is what it is, and we just showed it. So can we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Nathan, before you go, I wanted to go back to this natural phenomena in the natural world. Sure. Are you seeing this?
I've got it up now, yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 definitions of the natural world. So let's go over these. Merriam-Webster, all of the animals, plants, and other things existing in nature and not made or caused by people. From Oxford, natural, existing in or derived from nature, not made or caused by humankind. Natural, something that comes from nature rather than being man-made. Natural, from Cambridge, from nature, not artificial or involving anything made or caused by people. Is this clear?
I don't know. What do lead balls in a shed fall under?
So this is a common misconception. In science, you have to be more precise with your language. So you're mistaking common everyday language with precise scientific language.
This is precise.
This is extremely common.
You 4 definitions of it.
Let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. After telling us that your observed phenomenon was leaf falling from a tree, then blaming distance and then density, and then saying that it was actually air pressure that you wanted as your observed phenomena, you're now criticising John for not being specific when he's got 4 cited references for the very definition of the word natural, and you're criticising him.
This is a common misconception. I'm not relating it to anything else. I'm just saying this is a common misconception. Science uses very explicit language. They'll take a word that's used in common everyday language and they'll define it more rigorously to fit into the scientific
doesn't do anything. Science is the scientific method. It's not an entity. Stop reifying science.
Right, and science deals exclusively with, let me think, the physical and natural world, right? Yeah, Yeah, we should be more.
I'll give you an example, right? Like what do you feel when you touch a surface? What are you feeling? Say you touch a metal table, or you touch a pillow on top of that metal table.
What about a
feels
crayon?
colder than the other.
What about
but
a
they're
crayon?
The
What if
same
we touch
temperature,
what if we touch a crayon before you munch it? Right?
Or just follow with me, okay?
Okay, I'm tracking with you.
If you touch a cold table and there's in the same room with a pillow that's been there for all day, they're both the same temperature. If you touch the table, it feels cold. If you touch the pillow, it's obviously doesn't feel nearly as cold.
Yeah, you know why that is? You know why that is? Because the heat is not transferring.
Exactly.
Right. The table's more heat conductive.
So that's kind of an example that shows you why you have to be more precise with your language.
Well, you didn't use the word. You didn't use the word conductivity. So I would have used the word conductivity in that description.
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't use the word conductivity while simultaneously criticizing us for not being explicit and descriptive enough in our language. But you didn't use the word.
Exactly the word, the heat conductivity, the transfer rate of heat between your hand and the object. You're exactly right, Nathan.
Yeah, but you didn't say that. But you didn't say that while simultaneously criticizing us for not being descriptive enough.
I didn't get there. I wasn't done.
Right.
My explanation.
Okie dokie. Sorry, I should just permanently give you the mic.
So I asked a question and you got it right, Nathan. And you're criticizing me for not. I don't understand the criticism here.
So
we weren't making one. You were.
You
were telling us that we weren't descriptive enough with our scientific language, and then John pointed out the science doesn't do things. That's reifying something that doesn't actually do things when it's just a method, and the method deals exclusively with the physical and natural world. And he was defining what the word nature meant.
The point was that there's really no well-known thing in common English language that you could use to describe that situation. You have to go to something specifically in science, conductivity.
Oh, brother.
Right? Heat transfer rate.
This is a joke, man. This is like third grade joke.
Gymnastics exercise, it seems like.
I thought it was a pretty good example.
Not really, because I'm still trying to figure out what's natural and physical with your observation of touching the table.
That's not relating back to the scientific method. All this is relating is to the words used in science.
Okay, so natural and physical is pretty specific and not so confusing. So based on a Cavendish, they say experiment, what's natural and physical to that you found it to be an observable phenomena?
In physics, anything in the world that you can observe is natural.
Citation, please.
It includes natural, what you would commonly refer to as man-made, like, for example, like a refrigerator.
God. Shut him up. Listen, what is the goal of the scientific method? Why do we employ hypotheses in the scientific method?
I don't know. Please tell me.
Cause and effect relationships. If man has already caused it, then we know the cause. So we don't have to do anything. There's not a hypothesis that can be made.
The air pressure changes as you go up.
This is third grade.
That's not man-made.
Oh my God.
It's not. Don't tell me it is. That's not man-made. That's a good starting base.
That's not a phenomena. Just stating the bloody
Sure it
obvious.
is. My ears can feel the air pressure changing.
And? So you think that needs scientific inquiry, do you?
I mean, why not? We're not hunter-gatherers anymore, right? After you kind of secure the basic needs of human society, you can move on to more, mind-based endeavors and kind of, a more civil society, right?
No idea what you're babbling about.
Deep.
We were trying to ascertain some sort of proof of gravity with a hypothesis-based experiment, and we got nowhere with you. Now you're telling us we don't understand this, or we're not using the right language, or that we should be basing our experiences on some sort of mind experience rather than a method that we're trying to detail to you.
Get anybody who does science as a profession and get them to quote them as saying that John's definition is correct. You cannot use...
I'm a retired scientist, son.
Are you?
My word.
What was your profession?
You don't need to know my profession. If you can't tell by the words that are coming out of my mouth, then you got bigger problems than whether the Earth is a sphere or not. I mean, this
John,
is a
are
train
you
wreck.
joking? Somebody's supposed to tell by the words that are coming out of your mouth what your profession was?
It's a train wreck. I mean,
that's not even logical
Come
whatsoever.
on, unorthodox. Let him talk.
Third graders would be laughing at you with this natural science, hypotheses, the scientific method. Come on.
Anybody in the chat, please type what John's profession was, because I can't figure it out from what he's saying. Maybe you guys can. Maybe y'all are smarter than me.
John's profession makes no difference to the validity of what he's saying. It means nothing.
It means that he's not familiar enough with the terms.
You don't have to be initiated into some kind of priesthood to wield the scientific method.
I've got 2 degrees in an actual scientific discipline and worked half my life in that discipline.
John, you told me that engineering wasn't applied science.
Engineering is not science.
It's applied. You told me it wasn't applied science.
I said engineering is not science. It's not natural science.
No, it's the application of science.
Oh my God.
And you specifically told me that that's not what it was.
Unorthodox applied science is a name. It doesn't actually have the meaning of the scientific method in it. It's just a name they gave to it.
Right, that's where it's hijacking.
It's a name based on exactly what it is. You take the information that the scientists...
It's not.
Science is
Are you joking?
The freaky thing about it. They call it scientific, but it's not.
Exactly.
I think you might be mistaking technology for science here, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
Oh my God, guys!
Do you think that's the only problem?
If you go to any engineering school, you learn science, and then you take that science,
engineering
what scientists learned, and you apply it to design objects.
Dude, engineering is not science. Are you listening?
What's the application of science?
No, he's not the application of science. Can you turn him down or something, Nathan?
Not the application of science?
No.
No.
It's making shit.
It's what?
It's making shit. It's doing things. It's not science. Science is a method. It's not a construct.
So electrical engineering, where you use an Ohm's law that the scientific method gave us. You use that to construct circuits.
You need the definition of science, technology over science.
That's the same. It's building something.
That's the whole point. It's the same. Like a name, a direction. It's called applied sciences because suggestively it applies some things that have been scientifically discovered and determined, and using that mindset, that source, to build stuff. But it doesn't actually apply sciences. It just is like a pointer, like, yeah, that's where we take our resources from.
So you like Ohm's law used in electrical engineering? Like you could. This is pretty simple. You could do this like in your home.
Natural laws are not
like so.
Science.
I don't understand how you can make the argument that's
not they don't go through the scientific method. We already went over this a number of times. Natural laws are not science or scientific. They do not enter the scientific method. We already went over this.
As humans, we like to put things in these little bitty tiny boxes. And as an engineer, you use scientific knowledge to build things. But of course, there's going to be some trial and error. You can't put everything into some tiny little bitty box like you guys are trying to do.
No, we're not trying to put it into a tiny narrow box. Science is a very narrow and specific term, which has been hijacked. It's an application of a method, and that method is an exploration of the physical and natural world. Now, while you might want to call computer science science, it isn't.
I'm just saying it's the application of science. I can't even believe you guys would make that argument that engineering isn't the application of science.
My bad. So when I use a microwave, I'm applying science, am I, when I heat my toast up or heat my tea up? That's an application of science. No, just because something has been developed from scientific discovery doesn't mean its use thereafter is science. It's not.
That's not what I'm saying.
It is.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying engineering is applied science. So it takes what you guys think true. Oh, crap.
Oh, you've cut half your volume, which is probably no bad thing.
Whoops. No, I accidentally pulled I was getting a little I was moving around. I pulled my headphones out. The application of science, engineering takes what you guys say is ethereal and isn't real, and it makes it something real.
Ethereal.
So that's kind of my point here.
You just make stuff up. Are you seeing my screen
show
still?
You that this stuff is real.
I don't want to have to cut you off, Unorthodox, but just you can't see what's on screen. But if John can read it, the audience can see it.
This is from Henry Petrosky. He's the professor of engineering and history at Duke University. Engineering is not science. This is the paper. That's the title of the dang paper. Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to do.
I'm just telling you, it takes things that you guys are saying is ethereal, like intangible. It's not real because it's just a science that you're saying isn't real. Well, once you take it and you apply it to the real world and you build an object with it, it's then real.
Here's the whole title. Engineering is not science, and confusing the two keeps us from solving the problems of the world.
That's pretty big claim.
I'm not saying it's science. I'm saying it's the application.
That's exactly what you've been saying for the last 15 minutes. What are you talking about?
You're preventing world peace right here, Unorthodox.
I think this is intense.
It's just such a straw man, guys. I can't be more clear. I'm not saying engineering is science. I never said that.
You did say that.
That's precisely what he said.
I didn't. I never said that. You misheard me, Sleeping Warrior.
No, you say that engineering was science, and I said it's not. It's technology.
Right.
You misheard me, Sleeping Warrior. That's not what I said.
Well, didn't mishear you. Stop.
It's just a liar.
Okay, well, if you didn't mishear me, then I misspoke.
Yeah, we know you misspoke.
And my dog ate my homework. And I tugged on Superman's cape.
What did you mean to say then if you misspoke?
That engineering is the application of scientific knowledge, turning it from something
not science,
that you guys consider ethereal to real.
Science is a method. Engineering is application of, but they're not mutually exclusive. They're not the same.
They're not. You're right. Science gives you knowledge. Engineering applies that knowledge to create real objects.
Science proves the cause of an effect. That's all it does.
Yep. Yes, and then you use that cause and you manipulate it by engineering.
So how do you prove gravity then?
You just said we manipulate it by engineering.
Yes, you manipulate your understanding. You use your understanding to manipulate how the systems work to get the outcome that you want.
Oh, you might do that, but that's not the application of the scientific method. The application of the scientific method would be trying to establish the cause of an effect. So yeah, you're kind of agreeing with us in the respect that you're backing everything we say in that statement, that it's definitely not science.
Nathan, I'm gonna
You're
make
right. It's definitely not science.
Thank you.
Nathan,
We know.
Thank you.
Go on,
for the next
sorry.
3 weeks, we'll not see Unorthodox again. But after 3 weeks, he'll come back. We'll have the same conversation again, and he'll disappear again.
Yep. Probably.
I had something to present that I made that was totally different from anything I've ever said before.
But we have the same conversation every time you come in. It's just different variables.
No, we haven't really. That's what I was saying. I tried to move on from it, and you guys wouldn't let me. That's not my fault. That's your fault.
Not move on. Move around.
Yeah, that's not my fault, Sleeping War. That's on you, dude.
No, that's what you're doing. You're moving around it. You're not actually addressing the issue, as all of you always do. Always moving around that dark spot in your consciousness. You can't get there.
Well, I'll make you a promise.
On that note, I think I am going to round out this section of the show, the live portion. So I will say first and foremost, a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this live debate possible. Now, if you are watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, the show will continue shortly with the after show. In the meantime, I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!